Well, I guess the protesters are winning. We have more cruisers being pushed out of a popular cruising location. We also have new information coming out from Princess Cruises about their very popular Princess Plus and Princess Premier packages, changes. And there was a dude on a Carnival cruise ship that visited the nation in public, the urination. This is a cruiser I feel like we should ban, but what a story. Yeah, all that and more on today's episode. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loco. Welcome to the Cruise Show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's a cruise show. It's for your face on a Tuesday, July the 22nd, 2025. And let's start in Barcelona, where cruising continues to be under assault. Barcelona, the people there protesting, the officials there raising their hand, saying we've got an over-tourism problem, and one lever that we can pull is to restrict cruise passengers. This pushback against cruising has been going on in Barcelona since 2018. At that time, city officials were able to strike an agreement to close down one cruise terminal, reducing cruise passengers in the city. Then as 2023 rolled around, they were still saying, hey, too many cruise passengers in Barcelona, and they struck another agreement to close the northern cruise ports. And then here we are in 2025, and the city and protesters there are still saying too many cruise passengers in the city. And so now another agreement has been struck to reduce cruisers. Barcelona is the biggest cruise port in Europe. They host 1.6 million passengers a year. In this latest agreement, they're going to demolish 3 cruise terminals, A, B, and C. And then they're going to build a new cruise terminal on the site of Terminal C, which will serve 7,000 passengers. I asked there on the thumbnail, is it time to worry? Is this something that we should be worried about? Interestingly, the Cruise Line International Association, CLIA, has come out with some really positive language around this move in Barcelona. The interesting thing, and the term I'm really liking from the CLIA response, they're saying that cruise tourism is a managed tourism. And so if you look at all of the tourism in Barcelona as a whole, you have all this different transient tourism, people flying in, people driving in, people coming in by train, and people coming in by cruise ship. And for the city of Barcelona, the lever that's easiest to pull is this cruise lever because of its managed tourism. You know when the cruise ship is going to come into town. You know when the cruise ship is going to leave. You have the manifest. You know how many people that is. And so it does sound like CLIA is working with the city there to keep cruising viable in Barcelona, but it's definitely a viability amidst restriction. And so, I don't know if this will be the model going forward. Another cool thing about the initiative that's going on there is they're going to be investing in shore power. One of the biggest complaints about cruise ships being in a city center, in an urban area, is that if shore power doesn't exist, then cruise ships have to run their engines and they're pouring smoke out into those populated areas. With shore power, they can plug into the power grid and use electricity and port. And essentially, they're going to move those emissions somewhere down the line, maybe out into a rural area. I don't know if that sounds any better or not, but certainly pollution around big population centers is a big concern and a big knock against cruise ships. So Barcelona is certainly not cutting off cruising 100%, restricting cruising for sure, but it sounds like they're doing it in a way that will come out a better way for cruising as time goes by. Yeah, the funny thing, obviously, about business and capitalism and all that, you just want to open the floodgates. Let me get as many ships into all these places as possible. Let me make as much money as possible. And certainly you see city leaders managing their cities saying, look, I understand your desire to do business, but we also have to protect our city. We have to protect our population. And I like the fact that they're working out these agreements. But I do think going forward, you're going to see this at a lot more places when it comes to cruising because that's the ebb and flow. There's more cruise ships coming on, more people cruising, and more tourism around the world. And so these locales have to protect themselves. This is also another reason that I see, more of a move to private island, because if you can take thousands of people to a private island you don't have to worry about the locale. You've already made those arrangements. And essentially, if you're taking 7,000 people to a private island, there's not going to be any pushback because nobody lives there, right? Like, that's the whole point. All right, here's a quick tease of the story we'll talk about at the end. What is that dude doing, and where's he doing it at? He's number one in our book. Let me talk about this. Virgin Voyages has launched a true crime voyage. One of the most popular podcast types in the world right now are true crime podcasts, and Virgin Voyages, taking advantage of that, they will be hosting on the Valiant Lady October the 10th through October the 15th this year, a true crime cruise. This is a one-time offering from Virgin Voyages. Certainly it's a theme cruise, so there's going to be theme cruise type activities. It's going to be meet and greets with the celebrities that are on board, the host of these podcasts, behind the scenes workshops. There's going to have themed cocktail parties. They're going to do live podcast recordings. And the cool thing with it happening in October, they're also going to have a costume contest. I'm not sure who the celebrities are that are going to be a part of this, or who the podcast, hosts are. This looks like it could be a lot of fun, and I know there's a lot of fans of true crime out there. Speaking of true crime, I did watch the Netflix documentary about Amy Bradley. Amy Bradley is missing. I only knew a little bit about this story, but after watching those 2 episodes, I don't know what happened to Amy Bradley. It is a wild documentary to watch. Essentially, this 23-year-old goes missing off of a cruise ship, off of her cruise ship balcony. And, you would think, okay, maybe she just went overboard or something like that. But then there's all this other extenuating circumstances that may suggest that she got kidnapped, or that she was being held against her will in Curacao, and that she may still be alive. I just feel horrible for her parents because they continue to not know. They continue to not know what happened to their daughter, and to hold out hope that she's alive. And then the other interesting takeaway for me from the documentary, this happened back in March of 1998. And leading up to her disappearance, her and her brother were having a smoke on the balcony, which I guess, I'm new to cruising. I just started back in 2017. I guess there was a time where you could smoke on your balcony. Any longtime cruisers out there remember that? Wow, it's wild. I think we're just so much in the world of non-smoking that we forget how pervasive smoking was. I know when I grew up, both of my parents smoked, and my grandparents or my grandma smoked, and everybody smoked, and it was everywhere. You could smoke in restaurants, you could smoke in airplanes. I remember my first airplane flight, people were smoking, but I don't remember exactly when the switch turned to where it's, everything's non-smoking. But I guess back in 1998, smoking on the balcony was a wild thing. But that'll be interesting if on this true crime cruise, if they talk about Amy Bradley. I don't know if that's part of the programming, but I think it would be a good synergy, don't you? All right, I got a couple stories coming from Celebrity Cruise Line. We talked yesterday about how thousands of passengers found out essentially on the day of their cruise that their cruise had been canceled because of mechanical issues with the Celebrity Beyond. Well, just an update, Celebrity Beyond is now in Freeport in the Bahamas at a shipyard, working on getting repaired so that it can do its cruises next week. A lot of people were tracking that yesterday on the cruise mapper. It left Miami after dropping passengers off and made its way to Freeport. And then the other big piece of news is that they have named the new captain of the newest celebrity cruise ship coming out this year, the Celebrity Xcel, and he goes by Captain Kirk. Look, I'm going to pilot a cruise ship. That's a horrible William Shatner. His name is Captain Kyriakos Kirk Matragakis. I wasn't really going to bring it up, but what I thought was interesting about this is he's not only known as a cruise captain, but he's also known as a talented musician. And so in addition to piloting the boat, being the captain of the boat, I'm saying boat, somebody's gonna be mad, being the captain of the ship, he also does some drum and guitar performances during the cruise. I've seen cruise captains out there doing the captain's toast and other things, but I've never seen a cruise captain sit down behind a drum set and hit a paradiddle. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's enough to draw me onto the Celebrity Xcel, but I like the fact that in a pinch, say the drummer gets sick, Captain Kirk can sit in. Yeah. Spot, give me a beat. Now let's talk about Princess. I've made no bones about it that the Princess Premier Package is my favorite package that makes cruising feel all-inclusive to me. You get drinks, you get gratuities, you get internet, you get specialty dining, you get unlimited photos, you get casualty dining. And well, it's a super popular package, and I think Princess has figured out over time that what's working and what's not working. So they've made a change. They've increased the prices, and they've changed the nature of the package. So they've increased the price from $90 per person for Princess Premier to $100 per person, and they've increased the price of the Princess Plus package from $60 per person to $65 per person, unless you're on the new Sphere class. Interesting. Sun Princess and Star Princess going to cost even more money. $105 for the Princess Premier package and $70 for the Plus package. That's the pre-cruise price. They're more if you purchase them on the cruise ship. Why is the Star Princess and the Sun Princess more? I think it's primarily because of the unlimited specialty dining. There's more options on Star and on Sun. Now, interestingly, they took away some things that they said people aren't necessarily using, and then they tried to sweeten the pot by adding a couple things. The things that are removed are the premium desserts. So you could go to the ice cream place or the gelato place and get these fantastical desserts that I don't think anybody was eating on a daily basis. Maybe some people were. I guess they have the numbers that say they weren't. They've also taken away the juice bar access. They've removed the medallion shipping. So this is an interesting one that I want more clarification on. But normally you would get free medallion shipping with your Premier package where they'd send the medallion to your house. They've removed the free fitness classes. So they have like spin classes, targeted classes. They've removed that, and they've removed Princess Prizes, which is an interesting medallion thing. So those are things they took away. What did they add? The big thing that they added was a shore excursion credit. So if you're on a 6 to 9 day voyage, you get $100 shore excursion credit. If you were on 10 to 20 days, $200. And if you were beyond 20 days, $300 shore excursion credit. I do find the shore excursion credit more helpful to me than the desserts or the juice bar, that kind of thing. Another excited thing that they added when it comes to dining, on the Princess Premier, you now get unlimited casual dining meals. There was a limit previously, and on Princess Plus, you get 4 casual dining meals. No specialty dining on Princess Plus, but unlimited specialty dining on Princess Premier. And it does look like the beverage package has been tweaked a little bit inside of these programs. In the Princess Premier, you get unlimited drinks up to $20 each, and you get up to 12 bottles of water a day. You could probably just get as many bottles of water as you wanted, but now there's a limit on the bottle of water. It's unlimited on Princess Premier. It includes specialty coffee, cocktails, 0 alcohol cocktails. On the Princess Plus is where it gets a little interesting. It's 15 drinks per day, regardless of the drink type. So if you get a bottle of water, that's 1. If you get a soda, that's 2. If you get a coffee, that's 3. So in the past, it would normally be 15 alcoholic drinks a day, and then all of the non-alcoholic stuff would be unlimited, but not anymore. Not anymore. Princess Cruisers out there, what do you think about these changes? Like them, don't like them? Leave a comment below. Quick programming update. It is Tuesday. Normally we would do a live show tonight, but we were not able to do the live show tonight. I'll probably do a live show on Thursday in the afternoon, so be on the lookout for that, kind of maybe like a live cruise show, but no live show tonight. And now let's talk about this gentleman here. There's a whole video on TikTok. Just go to TikTok if you use TikTok and search for man peeing on cruise ship. It's wild, y'all. So essentially this picture shows this man standing in the corner of a stairwell. So on cruise ships, you normally have a flight of stairs that go up and you hit a landing. Then you have another flight of stairs that go up. Unless you're going down, then it's the opposite. I think you know what I'm saying. He is in the corner of that landing, like I said, visiting the nation, urination. And eventually security comes and starts to talk to the man, and he walks off. And in the video, when he walks off, you see a little puppy puddle there. So the guy definitely did his business out in public on the cruise ship. And then the video closes with security following him down another flight of stairs. So really, we don't know what the context is that has the guy in that corner doing his business. And we really don't know what the outcome is. And so all we can do is speculate. I hope this guy's banned. I've never seen something so disgusting. I mean, sometimes you see disgusting stuff on cruise ships. This is certainly one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen. What do you think? If the guy's drunk and maybe lost control of his bladder, should he get a pass? Should he get some sort of fine only? Or should this guy be banned for life? Should we banish him to the netherworld for life from cruising? I definitely think the guy should be fined. I think this should cost him financially because of that. but should we ban him forever? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think. That's everything that's going on in cruising. Hey, look, we're marching to 300,000 subscribers. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching the show today. And now there's really nothing left to do but dance. Yeah, we're going to dance. Get up. Get up.
Extra, extra, extra. Extra, extra, extra. Extra, extra, extra. Extra, extra, extra. One of my friends gotta get pussy all this song.